Picture this, a brand new performance tire, fresh tread, perfect rubber. The kind you'd actually trust with your life. Now imagine it at highway speed in heavy rain. For a fraction of a second, that tire is no longer touching the road. I know it sounds impossible, but it isn't. And this is the moment every driver should understand, because it explains one of the most misunderstood dangers on a wet highway. Hydroplaning. Here's the thing. Your tire isn't losing grip because the rubber suddenly stopped working. It's losing grip because the road simply disappears underneath it, replaced by a thin sheet of water that pushes the tire up. For a fraction of a second, your vehicle is essentially water skiing on its own wheels. Most people blame the tires when physics is really in charge. So how does it actually happen? To understand it, you have to start with something almost nobody thinks about. The contact patch. That's the small rectangle of rubber where your tire meets the road. For a typical passenger car, the entire patch is roughly the size of a postcard. All of your steering, braking, and acceleration happens through that little patch. 4 tiny postcards connecting 2 tons of car to the highway. That's it. If you enjoy learning how cars actually work, subscribe. We break this down every week in plain English. Now bring water into that picture. Rain hitting the road doesn't sit still. It piles up in front of your tires as you roll forward. Your tread grooves act like drainage channels, sweeping water out from underneath the patch so the rubber can keep gripping the asphalt. That's where the physics starts to get interesting. As speed climbs, more water arrives under the tire every second. The grooves have to push more water sideways in less time. A wedge of water starts forming just ahead of the contact patch, and the pressure inside that wedge rises with speed. Eventually, the hydrodynamic lift equals the weight pressing down and the rubber lifts off. Watch what happens next. The wedge slides completely under the tire. Steering barely does anything. The brake pedal feels limp. The engine note rises because the wheels are spinning with almost no resistance. This is the exact moment traction disappears. That sounds impossible until you see what's happening underneath the tire. The water wedge has essentially turned your tire into a boat hull. Now, to be fair, new tires handle this dramatically better than worn ones. Their deeper grooves move far more water per second, which pushes the onset speed way up. Modern tread patterns, sipes, and curved grooves all exist to lift that threshold as high as physics allows. Pressure matters more than most drivers realize too. Lower pressure lets the casing flex and trap water, which drops your onset speed. Properly inflated tires push back harder against the wedge. This is where engineering meets physics, and physics still gets the final word. What raises your risk the most? Speed. Doubling your speed roughly quadruples the energy the tread has to clear, and most drivers underestimate how steep that curve is. Standing water compounds the problem. Even a few millimeters on the highway is enough. Worn tread cuts your drainage capacity fast. Underinflated tires do the opposite of what people assume. Heavy rain washes oil and debris to the surface. Worn shock absorbers let the tire bounce on the water instead of cutting through it. Add them together, and even excellent tires lose. Have you ever felt your car hydroplane in heavy rain? Drop it in the comments because this is something almost every driver will eventually experience. What does it actually feel like from the driver's seat? The steering wheel goes light, almost floaty, like the road has turned into butter. The engine note rises. The vehicle drifts slightly in whatever direction the water pushes it, and braking feels weak, even with your foot on the floor. This is the exact moment panic makes things worse. Jerking the wheel, slamming the brakes, or stomping the gas only delays the tires regaining contact. Here's the right response, and it's almost counterintuitive. Stay calm. Ease gently off the accelerator. Avoid sudden steering. Brake softly if at all and let ABS pulse for you. Look where you want to go and slowly steer toward drier pavement if it's available. The whole goal is to give the tires a chance to find the road again. Smooth inputs save you. Jerky ones reset the wedge. Now the myths that deserve to die. New tires cannot hydroplane. Wrong, they do it at much higher speeds, but they still do it given enough speed, water, and worn tread. All-wheel drive prevents hydroplaning. Wrong. AWD helps with acceleration in slippery conditions, but it cannot create grip where none exists. All 4 tires lose contact at the same moment. ABS stops hydroplaning. Number ABS prevents wheel lockup, but it cannot shorten the hydroplaning distance. And wider tires always mean better wet traction, also misleading. Wider tires do spread more rubber on dry roads, but they also have to clear more water per second, so going too wide can actually work against you. Here's what to take away. Hydroplaning isn't your tires forgetting how to grip. It's water temporarily preventing them from touching the road. The best defense isn't buying magical tires. It's understanding the limits of physics, keeping your tires properly inflated, replacing them before the tread disappears, and slowing down before you reach those limits. Subscribe for more practical driving tips and automotive science explained in simple English. And the next time the rain starts coming down heavy, remember, it's not your tires failing you. It's a wedge of water lifting them off the road. And the only real cure for that is you easing off the gas and giving physics a little less to work with.